This is the purpose of these 4 spheres. In the discipleship process, notice that Paul doesn't just hit doctrine. Notice that he doesn't just talk about church life. He talks about maturity in the sense that if you're a Christian, every part of your life must be affected by your personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Does this make sense to you? So then, as disciples of Jesus, we are called to be mature. And what does maturity look like? Well, you're following Christ, you're being changed by Christ, and you're committed to the mission of Christ in every area of your life. If you notice on that little piece of paper that you've got there, notice that there are little different kinds of, these aren't meant to be complete, but if you look at, like, for instance, your relationship at home, spouse or father or husband or wife, father, mother, even if you're single, the Bible talks about what it looks like in 1 Corinthians and 2 Corinthians to be single. Your finances, notice that every area of your life is to come under the control of Jesus Christ. When you gave your life to Him, you surrendered to Him. Now, every part of your life comes underneath the control of the King. Not just one little part. I'll never forget this. When I was in ministry for the first time, I invited somebody to church. And remember, I'm a paid staff member. And it's an elder-governed church. And I invited somebody to church, and they said, well, where do you go? And I told them, and they go, no, I'll never go to that church. And I said, why? And they said, well, because one of your guys there, who I think he's a leader in your church, I used to work for him. And he was unethical, and he was mean. And I mean, the things that he did, if that's what it means to be a Christian, I'm never going to go to that church or probably any other. And so I did what I thought I was supposed to do. I went to this guy, and he was an elder in our church. And I went to him, and I said, man, I don't want to, embarrass you or hurt you in any way, but I invited somebody to church, and he said that he used to work for you, and I told him the guy's name. He goes, yeah, he used to work for me, and he quit. And I go, well, he said you did this, this, and this, and I'll never forget what he said. He said, Jim, church is church and business is business. Yet he thought he was mature enough to be an elder in a church. What had he done? Well, he kind of missed this, but he understood this over here. The rules at church, how you are at church. I mean, church is church. The question is, was he really spiritually mature? What had he done? He had compartmentalized his life. Instead of saying, I surrender my entire life to Jesus, he had compartmentalized in a way that in his mind it made it acceptable for him to talk about Jesus at church, but to act in a completely different way somewhere else.